Now, many of you already know that Nio CEO said something very important a couple of years ago to say that, look, if they want to improve their gross margins, they have to do two things, right? They need to build their own chips, they need to produce their own batteries. This was when Neo's gross margins was at what, 18%, 19%, and they say to improve gross margin to even go to over 30%, they need to build their own chips, they need to build their own batteries. Now, building their own chips, we know that Neo has already done that or has started doing that. You will know that the autonomous driving chips that are onto latest Neo cars, they are developed by Neo, and we know that Onvo, the plans are there for Neo to also develop autonomous driving chip for Onvo. We discussed that yesterday. Now, there's been breaking news about battery. Apparently, Neo, as of next year, will be producing their own battery in a partnership that they just recently announced today of them and CATL. Apparently, Neo and CATL are going to jointly build 85 kilowatt hour batteries for their NT 3.0 cars built on a 900 volt architecture, which is something that is massive. This is so great, so amazing, because Neo is going to start building their own batteries, and apparently Neo's initial plans was for the ET9 to use their own built batteries, but that has not happened. But ladies and gents, I give you good news to say that as of next year, chances are very high that Neo might be producing their own chips or mass producing their own chips. In fact, McLaren, Abu Dhabi, you remember the Abu Dhabi investment company or the investment group that it invested over $2 billion onto Neo. That company, you will remember that it acquired the McLaren last year, right? And part of that acquisition of McLaren is that the company that will help McLaren in terms of technology, it is Neo, which makes sense because Neo is an EV car that it's also owned by CYVN or the Abu Dhabi Investment Group. Now, the reason why I'm also telling you about that is that as you also notice that Neo apparently is going to supply or develop and supply batteries for McLaren or British car McLaren, which will be used on their hybrid cars. And the mass market for these batteries are expected to start next year. So 2026, Neo will be mass producing batteries from McLaren. But I think it must be noted that this partnership of Neo producing batteries for McLaren, it will be a partnership of Neo and Forseven. Now, how Neo is entering the battery market or the battery production market is via partnerships. This is how Neo also approached the EV market. You will know that Neo didn't have the capacity or did not have the certification to produce their own battery. They were jointly producing the cars with a company called Jack. That is why the first Neo factory was called Jack Neo, because it was a cooperation between Neo and Jack producing their cars, and Neo was giving a Jack around $1,260 per car they produced together, which is something that is good. And this is the same approach that Neo is using going into the battery production market, which is something that is just so great, because we have seen this before and we know where it's going to end. The end of this is going to be Neo producing their own batteries, and knowing that the NT 3.0 cars that are expected to come, I think as early as next year, might be using the Neo batteries. And Onvo also, apparently the 85 kilowatts battery that Neo and CATL are going to jointly build, it will not only work for Neo, but it will also work for Onvo, which is just so great, as this again it's going to seriously improve the gross margins of Neo, going to even 30% that the Neo CEO has always talked about, which is just so great. So these are the breaking news, these are the latest news, this is what we want to hear from Neo, man. I mean, the plans that Neo has in place are just so good, in a way that if people still don't see the potential that lies within this stock, I don't know, man. But me, I remain long, I remain strong onto Neo, because I know one thing, and that is blue sky is coming. Now, this battery pack that Neo is going to develop for, of course, the British supercar brand McLaren, it will be using Neo in-house developed 4680 large cylindrical battery cells, with small scale production expected to begin next year. So they will be using Nio 4680 large cylindrical battery cells, which is something that is so good, right? So this new battery that Nio is going to supply the McLaren, it will be jointly produced by Forseven and Nio, or Nio and Forseven, which is just so great, together with a 120 kilowatt hour battery, which was intended to be used on the ET9, which is just so great. These batteries are going to be, of course, mass produced as early as next year, and this, my dear friends, is something that is just so good. And over and above this, knowing that Nio is in partnership, or is going to produce an 85 kilowatt hour battery with CATL, it's lights out, man. Shots, better watch out. These are the kind of news that we want to hear as the new investors. And when I read this kind of news, the first thing that I thought about is to come and quickly give you or drop this bombshell that we just read today. This is very important for Nio's growth. This is very important for Nio, and it will take this to Nio to go to the next level. Otherwise, I remember the statement used by the Nio CEO: there is no chance. There is no chance of winning in the long term unless they produce their own batteries, unless they produce their own chips, which chips they have already started producing, and knowing that batteries, they will be mass producing them, or on a small scale as of next year. It's something that is just so great, and it speaks volumes of not only where Nio is at, but where it is headed. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Those that are persevering throughout the headwinds, the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. You will know that CATL, it is the world's largest EV battery producer. I think based on the report that we received today, showing the figures from January to April, CATL's market share onto these batteries, or onto EV battery as a battery EV maker, it's around 38%, followed by BYD at 17%. This so shows you that, look, CATL, Nio partnering with CATL, it's a good choice because they specialize in battery production, or in battery manufacturing, which is something that is just so great. So I am happy, I am excited. Tell me what you think about this. Blue skies coming, long term will win. Those that are persevering throughout the head with the share price will most definitely be rewarded with time. I like what I do, and I thought I'd come and give you this. Please do like, please do subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. God bless you all.